Hey everyone, Carl Sling here. I just wanted to see if I can start this channel thing working. I think I got the technical issues solved and channel set up, things of that nature. So this is going to be my first video, and I'm going to be addressing the full disclosure. Uh, people like Cory Goode, David Willcock, Emery Smith, Captain K, Randy Cramer. I've been involved about 6 months now, just listening and watching. Um, got some. I'm big fans of dark journalist Daniel List and the lovely Olivia. We never get to see her. Maybe someday. Maybe there is a picture of her somewhere, but I haven't looked. But she's never on camera. But that's okay. Big fan of Joseph P. Farrell. Huge fan. I think that man has probably got most of what we can figured out. At least he's got close. Actually, I do believe there was some kind of advanced civilization back in the day, you know, 15, 20, 30, 40,000 years ago. Who knows? Daniel List, Joseph P. Farrell, love Forum Borealis, and I've recently become a big fan of Joe from the Carolinas. I think that kid's got something going there. So anyway, big fans of those guys, and lots of others I've been watching. But I want to address this secret space program, 20 and back, limbs cut off, regrown, all kinds of fantastic stories. Warring with the Martians, swords and rail guns. You can breathe on Mars. Cory Goode's been in the space program 60 years, 20 and back, 20 and back, 20 and back. Fantastic stories. I just am amazed at what these guys are saying. Gaia TV and Full Disclosure and Blue Avians, or Blue Avians, the Blue Chickens, Triangle Head, all kinds of things going on there. So what I want to say now is this has got to be the most fantastic story I've ever heard. And I am absolutely amazed of what can be done in the secret space program. Also want to miss Catherine Austin Fitz. Fantastic. I love Mrs. Howell, Miss Howell. Linda Moulton Howe. Fantastic too. I'm really amazed at her. I'm not one of those guys. I'm just a regular Joe. I live in the Phoenix area of Arizona, a suburb called Surprise, Arizona. And I'm just a regular aerospace guy. Been in aerospace all my life. Now I just sell the tools for the aerospace guys. Long in the tooth, getting old. I'm married, kids, grandkids, the whole nine yards. So anyway, just a regular Joe. That's all I am. It's just a regular Joe. And I talk to people about this secret space program and Full Disclosure and Gaia TV and Ascension. And my buddy's like, dude, are you sure you're okay? But it is funny. So I just want to say, this is going to be my first video. So I'm going to address Cory Goode. This guy, I've seen his videos. I've seen lots of videos. I've seen the spaceships. I've seen, everything that he has to offer on the secret space program. He is the ambassador to 321 races of aliens, I think, at this point. And eats food out of food replicators, which I think is just pot roast. I don't think there's been anything else. And David, oh yeah, I love the way that Joe from Carolina says Cory Goode's the insider of insiders. Cory Goode, insiders, insider. Oh, fantastic, right? Joe from the Carolinas. I have to recommend this guy. I mean, he is fantastic. He does all kinds of good videos, but he's been addressing the secret space program and Antarctica. Oh, great, right? I just love him. So anyway, the insider of insiders, Cory Goode. Well, it's true, right? So anyway, um, I have to say, I just have to say, Cory Goode is full of poop. I hate to laugh. I don't want to be disrespectful, but I can't believe it. What a crazy thing. And David, wow, Willcock. Joe from the Carolinas, David, wow, Willcock. Oh, I love the guy. It's like, oh man, just some of the things the other says, it's just crazy. So I recommend Joe from the Carolinas. Absolutely recommend him. You've got to see his stuff. He's fantastic. He's really good. Smart kid. I'm telling you, he got lots of things going on. So I have to recommend him, right? So and then this David Willcock. That's like crazy. I'm so sorry for laughing. I really am, because I want to show respect. I do. I really do want to show respect. I mean, Gaia TV's probably got millions of dollars in this, Oh, excuse me. Jeez. But, I mean, they're making money. I'm sure they are. But, I mean, people, you have to go see this stuff. It's amazing, Randy Cramer, Captain K, another secret space program augmented soldier. All right, I want to be respectful. So anyway, I mean, these are outlandish. I mean, Captain K's got his limbs blown right off in Mars, and of course you can breathe in Mars. No big deal. It's like they just say it's cold, right? And he gets his limbs regrown back from what they call a 3D printer med bed. It's amazing. Within an hour. So I was listening to him, and he said, "This is how it kind of works, right? It says like you get your arm blown off, boom, get your arm blown off. Well, what they do is they put you in this med bed, and they have this 3D virtual printer that will take your, your genetics or whatever, and will actually kind of put a 3D virtual print of your arm in the air, and because there's no air getting inside after they do that, that means your arm will just grow back. So I mean, that's just amazing. Arm blown off. One time I heard him say that he got his legs and his arms blown off, or both, or one or the other, and he would say to the medical people in the bed, "Well, how long am I going to be here now?" And they say, "You'll be here for a day. You'll be here for 2 days. You'll be here for 2 hours." That type of thing. So it is amazing to me and what these guys are saying. But so Cory Goode is the ambassador to all the aliens. He's been in the secret space program for 60 years. I guess there was some in between thing going on, 20 years in between. They took him again, 20 years in between, and then a little space in between that, and then 20 years. And so that would make him 60, just those 20 years. But what they actually do is when they go in the space program, they bring them back, and then they wipe their mind so they don't remember, right? And they age regress them. And so if you leave when you're 16, you come back when you're 16. So they actually age regress your body when you're been there 20 years. So it makes you 36. They took you at 16, you're 36, right? So when you come back, you're 16. And then here's the other one. They compress time, or they have some kind of time travel. He's only gone for 15 minutes. So they take him at 16, put him in the space program for 20 years, bring him back. He's only been gone 15 minutes, like he went out the door, to play at 16, or maybe, go get a soda, maybe an ice cream, maybe a hamburger, you know. Take him, bring him back. 15 minutes later, and he spent 20 years, he's still 16. So that happened 3 times, is what he's saying. Cory said that happened 3 times. He's been in the space program 3 times. Okay. That'll blow your mind, right? Just that alone, right? And David Willcock, we don't know if he's Cory's, or I don't know, especially in my opinion, he's Cory's handler or whatever. Who says there's 321 species of aliens out there. And Cory Goode is the ambassador, the human ambassador to the aliens, which are headed by these sphere beings. So they got the Sphere Being Alliance. And these sphere beings look just like blue chickens, right? So they're saying blue chickens. They call them blue chickens, but they're called blue avians. Or as Jimmy Church will say, blue avions. All right, it's funny, I know. But anyway, and the Sphere Being Alliance is going to bring in the ascension. There's energies that are coming from the sun, and things are going to happen, and the positive people will ascend, and the negative people won't, and that type of thing. But I guess Cory Goode and David Willcock has terminated their relationship with Gaia. The Blue Avian Sphere Being Alliance, I believe, is still alive, right? So, just blue chickens. I'm so sorry, man. Blows my mind. All right. So anyway, I don't know what to make of this, right? So every time somebody says, "Okay, man, I get it," I hear what you're saying, brother, but I need some evidence, right? It's an artifact, or some other things, or whatever, and a lot of the whistleblowers do the DD 214, right? That type of thing, and so I really don't know what to make of it. I just would have to say they're a bunch of, well, not bunch of, they're full of poop. I mean, well, now anybody that wants to come up with a story like that and get followers and sell keychains and T-shirts and comic books for $220. By the way, I hear the art is fantastic in this comic book, whatever, And I've seen some animated art online with Cory Goode when he's actually in his backyard, right? He's in his backyard, and there's a ship called a Dart, but not a Dodge Dart. But it looks cool. But this ship, as big as like a Dart car, right? Dodge Dart car. It sits like 4 people max, right? Comes flying into his backyard, right? And hovers, anti-gravity technology and everything. Boom, takes him to the moon, right? I guess the moon trip's like 45 minutes. It's 45 minutes to the moon. Boom, they're there. And then they come around, and there's the moon base, right? And the moon base, you can tell, was built by the Germans back in the day, I guess, because the Germans have been up there since like the 40s, from what I understand. I mean, this is really stuff that just blows your mind. So you can still see the swastika of the buildings, but they've built it out now, so it looks different, But you can still see the original swastika that the German base built their base buildings, in that configuration. And comes in, lands and that kind of stuff. It's pretty cool, actually. But I mean, it's entertaining. I mean, what are you gonna do? I'm just blown. Very interesting stuff. So, for those of you who are not into this stuff, I mean, I've been into it for 6 months now. Now there's some really good things going on out there, I tell you. Forum Borealis is really fantastic. They got some really good stuff. Joseph P. Farrell is probably the expert on the Nazis, on, from the beginning to the end. I mean, this guy can trace the money. He traces the people. I mean, the most interesting things I've heard. NASA, Operation Paperclip, you know. So as an average guy, I want to try to share this with anybody who wants to see my video of all these great people out there that just fantastic stuff that, you know. I mean, Graham Hancock, fantastic guy. He's probably the expert on ancient civilizations. We know. I mean, you've got to take a look at this stuff because it looks like there has been high technological ancient civilizations before us. There's no doubt. I mean, the megalithic structures all over the earth are just fantastic. And the new find, Quebecly, I can never say that. Let me get you back to your regular scheduled program. Quebecly Tepe. Uh, they're now finding out that's at least 12,000 years old, right? So, I mean, the mainstream narrative of civilization started 6,000 years ago has just been blown out. So, I just wanted to say all this stuff. So, I want to recommend Joseph Farrell. Okay, Joseph P. Farrell. Gotta listen to his stuff. He gives interviews to anybody that is interested in listening to what he has to say. Fantastic. I mean, you've got to listen to this guy. He's wrote many, many books. Okay, Reich of the Blight Rising, Reich of the Black Reich of the. I got it. He's got a website. You've got to see his books, right? I haven't bought any yet, but I've been 6 months just constantly listening to the podcast. Now I do this in my car because I got an hour every day back and forth to the office, right? So I mean, boom, I'm on it, right? And it's always in traffic, you know. I'm actually only 33 minutes away from my office from driveway to driveway on a Saturday, but we're all commuting down to 10. You know, I live in Surprise. I got to go down to Phoenix, so I get like a good 40 minutes of just slow, easy traffic, and I can watch these videos and these podcasts. It's fantastic. So I've been doing this for 6 months now. So Joseph P. Farrell, GizaDeathStar.com. Fantastic speculation on the pyramid. That's why it's GizaDeathStar.com. He believes that the Great Pyramid was actually a weapon. Man, could be, you know. I mean, some of his speculative stuff is just fantastic. And it's always rooted in logic and reason. He's never out there, and he always cites his sources where he gets his information, puts it all together, and then gives it into an informative way. I think he's got 32 books now, you know, and I haven't even bought one yet. It's terrible, but I will. Joseph P. Farrell, high on my list, okay? GizaDeathStar.com. Daniel List, Dark Journalist. Another one. Joseph's on his show. And Daniel List is a fantastic journalist. That's why it's called Dark Journalist, because he goes into the truth, into the stuff nobody wants to talk about, into the stuff nobody wants to look at. He's got a great X series right now going on. You've got to see this and start from the beginning. They're all on his channel. You can go get it from one to finish. But it's always about the X steganography, which is fantastic, man. And true. You need to look into that stuff. And it's all facts, right? It's all facts. And he goes into all the stuff from the X steganography back into the ancient civilizations, back in before the Egyptians, right? It's really good. Dark Journalist. Another one I recommend very highly is Joe from the Carolinas, okay? Really a smart kid. I don't know why I call him a kid. He might be 30 years old or something, but he looks young, you know. But he's sharp kid, really is. And he's funny. He really looks into some good stuff. He takes challenges all the time. Um, and he calls Cory Goode the insider of insiders. Oh no, the insider's insider. Insider's insider. Anyways, he's a great kid. I like him a lot. So yeah, I recommend him very highly, right? Another one is Forum Borealis. Okay. You can all find this on YouTube. Just type in Forum Borealis, type in Joe from the Carolinas, type in Dark Journalist, type in, Joseph P. Farrell, Linda Moulton Howe, another one I recommend. She's really into the alien thing. She's got some really interesting things to say. Um, really like her a lot. So, excuse me, my cough. I only drink four different beverages in my life. Water, a lot of water, right? Coffee, right? A lot of beer. I do drink a lot of beer. I do like my beer. Hanging out with the brothers and riding the Harleys and drinking some beer, right? We got a motorcycle club. We got a riding club with a drinking problem. A drinking problem with a riding club. I don't know. But anyway. And iced tea. So, anyway. Linda Moulton Howe. Another one is Catherine Austin Fitz. She is really good. She's got a website called Solari. But type it in Catherine Austin Fitz and she'll come up. She's the one tracing $20 million missing out of Treasury, right? What are they doing with that $20 million? Well, I'm sure they're doing something in space. Who knows what? Recently, this will blow your mind. And this is from Joseph P. Farrell. I like him. But you remember when President Trump was negotiating with the Koreans and something all of a sudden broke. There was a news that was way out there. It was like their mountain, their nuclear testing facility actually kind of caved in, right? Well, we think that it was hit with the rod of God, which is an actual space-based weapon. And we're not supposed to have weapons in space. We have treaties for that, but look it up. The rod of God. It's a space-based kinetic weapon. Doesn't even use explosives. The projectile is made out of spent uranium, or what we call heavy metal. In our business as aerospace cutting tools, we actually make boring bars out of heavy metal, and it's not carbide. It's as heavy as carbide, but it's made of metal, and it reduces the vibration when you're cutting deep holes with boring bars. It's technical, but we do make them. So this projectile is made out of heavy metal. Now we're guessing, you go look it up online. It'll show you exactly what it looks like. It's called the rod of God. Just think of the rod of God technology. So it's up in the low orbit, shoots down this projectile, right? And it's guided, right? It comes through the atmosphere from space so fast that when it actually hits the target, the kinetic energy alone is what causes the destruction. Boom. It could be as much as, a small nuclear bomb. Anyways, we think that's what happened. It's kind of interesting. When you get involved into all of these, what we call alternative media, because we call it alternative media because you can't get anything from the mainstream media that's, truthful. So we have this alternative media. Thank goodness for the internet and YouTube and people digging for the truth. But you can find this alternative media, the new stuff you won't get. I'm telling you, it's fantastic. So anyway, those are my recommendations for now. Dark Journalist, Joe from the Carolinas, Joseph P. Farrell, Giza Death Star, GizaDeathStar.com, Catherine Austin Fitz, Solari, and Forum Borealis, okay? Now, when you watch these 5, you'll see the interviews and stuff from other channels and other people, and it gives you fantastic information, right? So anyway, people, I gotta go. Today's decoration day for December. Christmas time's my favorite time of year. Thanks for watching. And you know, put something on the comments if you like it. Tell me it's stupid, whatever. You know, if you like it, you don't like it. I'm going to be doing more on certain subjects. I wanted to get this one out at first to recommend to people that I want to recommend, because you know my channel might be watched by my friends and people that are not into that stuff, but they'll learn. You know, they'll be able to see what I'm looking at and stuff, so we can at least have a conversation. When I talk to them today, hey, did you hear what Catherine Osman Fitz said? Did you see Daniel Liz? See Joe from the Carolinas? Did you hear about Joseph P. Farrell? They look at me and say, what? Anyway, I'm going to do what Joe does when I sign off. I'm going to try to change it up a little bit. Be vigilant for victory. Later, people. Have a good one. Carl Sling, signing off.